Alright, let's go into development for a second. In this picture, I got a new picture out here, and I'm going to go through the same steps as I did before, but now I'm going to touch base on tonal control. So again, I don't want to see any of the clipping information, so I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to go back into white balance. I'm going to white balance this corresponding to a color of gray. Remember to go in here before you adjust that and zoom in and look around for an area of gray. Like this thing has a lot of gray in it. So I'm going to choose kind of a gray in here. And this is kind of a grayish blue, so the blue is definitely going to take a little precedence over things. So if you want a gray that makes more sense, let's see, something that doesn't reflect light might be a little bit better, like this. And you can see the blue light's actually coming from the inside window. So if I find a surface that has very little, like on this side maybe, because it's not coming from the window. There we go. Wow, that was just so much, right? If I want to see that effect alone, what I can do is go down here and turn this on and off. And that'll show me a before and after. Also, if I want to see a before and after, I can go like this. YY. Okay? And certain things might be in my way if I want to go YY. So I can make this go scooch a little bit. I don't have a whole lot of resolution as far as document space goes. So there's another one. I can go split YY. So here's before and after right next to each other. So there's many different possibilities here. If I want to go back to the original, I go here. Also, sometimes I really like to take advantage of not seeing the interface and I want to go L. L will darken the interface and keep the picture in here. And if I hit L one more time, it'll make it absolutely black and I can take advantage of lights out. Okay, so being that this is a video, I'm going to keep it full stream though. So I white balanced it, and now I have to decide what am I going to expose this picture for. Well, am I going to expose it for the inside or outside? First, I'm going to find out what my histogram is saying about it. There's not much recovery on this, so I'm going to recover. And over here, you can see that there is some blown out blacks. There's some shadow information. Shadow information is a little harder to get back, but since it's 16-bit, I can do that. If I rank vibrance up and clarity, then a little fill light. Fill light will pull it away from the wall. Brightness, but not so much brightness that it takes it away. So I can go blacks and take blacks completely out, but then I'm going to get a washed out look. So your histogram, if you look, I have this big huge spiky region. What is that? Why is blue so vivid? Well, that's because in here I have this liquid right here, and I guarantee that this blue is because of this blue right here. Also, if you notice, I can move this histogram around. Will I ever do that? No, because it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Like I can move this around, and I can get it lined up, but here's the bell curve right here or something like that. Does that make sense? No. So now that I got things exposed correctly and I'm getting information in my shadow regions, I'm seeing stuff within the picture. This is shot with an incredibly large amount of ISO with no flash, so that's why we're getting a lot of the grain in it. Again, sometimes because the new digital SLRs are so, like this is a 22 megapixel picture right here. That means it's actually the size is so huge that when I shrink it down, am I going to see a lot of this noise? No, because it's going to be just there. 22 megapixels is huge. So I shot for a big piece and I scale it down small. Uh, Same with drawing. You draw big, shrink small, you get amazing detail. Same with photos. You shoot big and shrink small, you get amazing detail. Things that don't have amazing detail in here, however, need to be addressed, like this can, for instance. And I said I was going to go down to here in tonal control and show you exactly how this works. Well, I have lights and darks, and I can move these around. I can move lights and lighten it up. But what's really nice about tonal control is this. I can add lights, I can add darks, but then I can go back up here and do a lot of stuff that, I might be able to tweak out color because of that. So maybe I don't need so much fill light now. I don't need so much brightness now. That's what tonal control does. The tonal curve is amazing. It works really well, but you got to understand that once you adjust something down here, that you can have the ability to go back up here and adjust some other things. So my shadow information is a bit too dark, but hey, if I rank this all the way up, wow, look at that. Now I don't have any shadows at all. I can see clean to the crevice. Does that look like a good shot? It could if I adjusted some probably blacks within it or some fill lights. I always use I don't use a lot of saturation. I leave saturation alone. But my end goal here is to have a very contrasty image because I know that contrast prints well. Okay, so there's a large change between the whites and blues here. There's a large change in the wood tones. I can now see this bird and it has a large change. I can see the cracks. So now, what about detail? And that's going to be covered in the next video.